my new gym signing the membership form, the trainer saw my emergency contact's name and asked how I knew the owner. I just moved to the city 3 weeks earlier. New job, new apartment, new everything. The gym was 2 blocks from my building, which was the only reason I picked it. I wasn't motivated to get fit. I just needed something to do that wasn't sitting alone in an empty apartment eating cereal for dinner. The trainer who processed my sign-up was named Philip, mid-30s, built like a refrigerator. The kind of guy who calls everyone brother within the first 30 seconds. He handed me the membership form on a clipboard and told me to fill out the standard stuff. Name, address, emergency contact. I wrote down my Uncle Raymond's name and number without thinking twice. Raymond had been my emergency contact for everything since I was 19. Car insurance forms, college applications, the hospital when I had an allergic reaction to shellfish at a work dinner. His name lived in that field, like it had always lived there. Philip leaned over the counter to check my form, nodded at the first few lines, and then stopped cold. His whole body went still. Raymond Okafor, he read out loud. He looked up at me slowly. How do you know Raymond Okafor? He's my uncle, I said. Why? Philip set the clipboard down on the counter very carefully, like it had suddenly become fragile. He stared at me for a moment with an expression I couldn't read. Raymond Okafor owns this gym, he said. I heard the words. I processed them individually. They did not connect into anything that made sense. He's never mentioned a nephew, Philip continued. He's never mentioned owning a gym, I said. We looked at each other. I pulled out my phone and called Raymond right there at the front desk. He picked up on the second ring, cheerful as always. Hey kid, Uncle Ray, do you own a gym called Iron Standard on Clement Street? A pause. Not a long one, but long enough. Who told you that? The trainer who was signing me up for a membership. Another pause, then a long exhale. Come to the back office, he said. I can see you on the camera. I didn't even know there was a back office. Philip led me through a door behind the reception desk that I'd assumed was storage, down a short hallway, past a room full of cleaning supplies, into a small office with a desk and 3 monitors showing feeds from cameras throughout the gym floor. Raymond was sitting behind the desk, in person, which meant he had been there the entire time I was filling out the form. He looked exactly like he always did. 62 years old, clean-shaven, reading glasses he refused to admit he needed pushed up on top of his head. You're here, I said. I'm here, he agreed. You watched me walk in and didn't say anything. I wanted to see which gym you'd pick. He leaned back in his chair. Your mother told me you moved to the city. I may have mentioned to her that I owned a gym nearby. I may have suggested she casually recommend the neighborhood to you when you were apartment hunting. I sat down across from him. You engineered this. I introduced the variables, he said. You made your own choices. My Uncle Raymond had been the only stable adult in my life from the time I was 12. My parents split badly, and both of them moved in directions that didn't leave a lot of room for me. Raymond stepped in without being asked. He drove me to school when I missed the bus. He showed up to the things nobody else came to. He never made a production of it, never needed credit. He just appeared whenever I needed someone to appear. When I moved to the city, I hadn't told him directly. I told my mother. I was too proud to admit I was nervous about starting over somewhere I didn't know anyone. You've been here this whole time, I said. Bought the place 4 years ago, he said. Semi-retirement project. Your aunt thinks I'm consulting for a logistics firm. Don't tell her. He paused. I saw you walk in and you looked like you did when you were 14. That same face you make when you're trying to look like everything is fine. I didn't say anything. You're not required to be fine, he said. You're allowed to tell me when things are hard. Philip knocked and opened the door a few inches. Sorry to interrupt. Should I finish processing the membership? Raymond looked at me. Yeah, I said. Process it. Philip disappeared. Raymond pulled open a drawer and set a key on the desk. Spare key to the office, he said. You can come here whenever. Before the gym opens, after it closes. If you need somewhere to be that isn't your apartment. I picked it up. You couldn't have just texted me you owned a gym? You wouldn't have come if I'd told you directly. You would have said you didn't want me to feel obligated. He was exactly right. I've been at that gym almost every day for 4 months now. Not always to work out, sometimes just to sit in that back office and eat lunch with my uncle while he pretends to do paperwork, and I pretend I don't need to be there. Philip still calls me brother every single time I walk through the door.